I arrived at my parents' big family banquet early, dressed beautifully, smiling, ready to finally feel included in something. But right as my hand touched the door handle, I heard it. "You're not invited. Leave." At first, I honestly thought they were joking. Then I saw the manager waving over security. And then my father raised his voice so that everyone lingering in the lobby heard him clearly. "Get this beggar out of here. My name is Lana Hartley. I'm 35 years old. And if you're imagining that I screamed or cried or caused a public meltdown, I didn't. I lifted my chin, looked straight at my mother, who refused to look back, glanced at my sister smirking like she'd finally won something, and I walked away. No scenes. No shouting. Just the quiet echo of my heels on polished floor. What they had no idea about was this: every bit of that celebration they were enjoying so proudly was funded by me. The banquet hall, the catering, the ridiculous gold-trimmed invitations. The Airbnb bookings for those freeloading out-of-town uncles. Even that absurd champagne tower my mother insisted would elevate the ambience. They thought Dad's retirement bonus paid for it all. Not even close. Every dollar came from my accounts, willingly, quietly, until that very moment. I slid into my car, took a slow breath, and opened my banking app. Then I started cutting strings one by one. $7,200 catering, charged back. $12,000 honeymoon flights for my sister, voided. $4,800 prepaid spa getaway for my mother and her gossip circle, cancelled. $52,000 in installments on the beach condo they bragged about as Dad's legacy, frozen instantly. All payments under my LLC. All removed with one decision. Total reversal, $76,000. By the time I parked in my driveway, my phone had exploded with 56 missed calls. Half from relatives, half from unknown numbers. And then came the knock, heavy, angry. I checked the peephole, and the sight made me lock the door one quiet click at a time. Then I grabbed the folder I had been saving for nearly 3 years. Standing on my doorstep was my sister's husband, flushed, sweating, gripping his phone like it was about to explode. "Fix this," he snapped, not bothering with a greeting. "They just canceled the food. The hotel refuses to release the rooms. And the honeymoon tickets were voided while we were mid-check-in." I casually leaned against the frame. Sounds like someone failed to check who actually owned all those accounts. His eyes widened. "You did this because they kicked you out?" "No," I said calm as marble. "I did this because they forgot the golden rule of biting the hand that feeds you. Make sure the hand isn't holding the receipts." He tried to peek past me, maybe searching for my parents, maybe hoping to spot guilt. But guilt didn't live here anymore. I lifted the thick folder, documents neatly labeled, color-coded, signed. Contracts listing my LLC as sole financial sponsor. Cancellation clauses with my authority alone. Every reversal executed within an hour of their betrayal. "I warned them 3 years ago," I reminded him. "I told them if they treated me like a walking bank, I would start making decisions like a banker." "You're punishing all of us," he snapped. I smiled. "No. I'm protecting my investment and cutting off a bad loan." His face reddened. "They're your parents." "They called me a beggar," I said simply. He had nothing left to say. Just muttered something about lawyers and escalating this. But here's the thing, you can't escalate above the person who owns the contracts, the ledger, and the entire financial trail. He stomped off, and I shut the door gently. I set the folder on my desk and pulled out a new one labeled, Inheritance Audit, Phase 2. By sunrise, I had 32 emails. Some polite, some aggressive, all desperate. My mother wrote, "We didn't mean any of it. Emotions got out of hand. Can we talk?" My father didn't send words, just forwarded the unpaid venue invoice as if that would guilt me. But my favorite message came through the family group chat, the one I'd been excluded from for years. My cousin screenshotted it to me. "Lana's just sensitive. She'll crawl back. She always does." I laughed out loud. Then I typed a response to the entire group, just a reminder, I own the crawl space and changed the locks. Silence. Naughty place. That afternoon, I received an unexpected email from my parents' accountant. He asked if I had time to discuss some concerns. He'd noticed that payments for the beach condo hadn't been coming from their trust at all, but from an unfamiliar LLC. "Mine?" I confirmed. His next question hit exactly where I'd hoped. "Have your parents listed that condo as their asset in yearly filings?" There was a long pause before he typed back. "They claimed it was inherited from a private family donor. No supporting records." They hadn't just lied. They'd hidden property, used my funds to build equity in something I legally still owned. It wasn't just ungratefulness, it was deception. The accountant asked if I'd sign a declaration for tax correction. I said yes, after a call to my lawyer asking how quickly we could nail this down legally. "Within 48 hours, he said. Perfect. Because this was no longer about hurt feelings. This was fraud. By noon the papers were ready, a cease and desist for slander and misuse of funds, and a property reassignment document stripping their verbal claim over the condo entirely. My lawyer, Reed, pushed the stack toward me. "They'll think you're bluffing." I smiled. They already did. The process server delivered everything an hour later. Just like that, the family banquet transformed into a financial disaster zone. That night, my mom left a voicemail. Crying, rambling. "You're ruining our family over a misunderstanding. You're so dramatic." Dramatic, the word families use to tame daughters they exploit. She wasn't finished. "If you go through with this, people will talk. Church. The neighborhood. Your father's standing." It was always about perception. A photo-perfect family. A spotless image. A performance. Not love. Not truth. I let the voicemail rot unheard because something more important hit my inbox the next morning. Subject: account transfer completed. Beach condo title finalized. It was official. Legal. Permanent. The condo was fully removed from their financial portfolio. And the taxes they'd been dodging? Filed, with interest. Minutes later, Reed emailed. "We can go deeper if you want. Full audit." I responded instantly. Yes. Start with the trust. I want every dollar tracked since 2017. They didn't just call me a beggar. They built their banquet on my back. And now they could pay for the chairs they never offered me. The audit peeled back everything. Reed's forensic accountant dug deep, way deeper than I imagined. $18,700 missing the week I graduated college. Labeled as emergency home repairs, but actually used for a new kitchen in my sister's house. $9,000 listed as education expense, spent on concert tickets and a luxury spa weekend for my mother. $34,000 withdrawn for my father's antique car restoration, a car he bragged was a reward for raising such responsible kids. They drained the trust dry. Then called me the beggar. I asked Reed quietly, "Is this criminal?" He nodded. "Only if you want it to be." I didn't want prison. Not for them. Not yet. It wanted accountability. So, we filed a motion. Request for a financial recompense plus trust misuse documentation. They had 30 days to respond or settle privately. And that's when the mask finally cracked. An unexpected text came through from my mother. "I'm scared, Lana. Please don't ruin the family over money. Will McKeat right?" I stared at it for a long time. No apology, no ownership, just fair. The only language they ever truly spoke. I responded with one line. "Ruin? You're confusing ruin with reveal." The next day, my sister posted on social media. A long-winded caption under a filtered sunset. "Some people only show up when there's money involved. Glad I know who my real family is." I didn't comment. I didn't need to because now they could say anything they wanted online. But in court, every word had toe proven, every signature traced, every dollar accounted for. And suddenly, the girl they once called dramatic had become the one they had to answer to. Their lawyer reached out on day 22. Tone clipped, language, desperate wrapped in legalese. He offered a private settlement, $50,000 in restitution. No admission of wrongdoing and a mutual non-disclosure agreement. Reed chuckled when he read it. "They're trying to seal the cracks before the neighbors peek and doubt I didn't want money." Not really. He wanted a record. Proof that I wasn't just the black sheep. I was the scapegoat, the silent benefactor, the unpaid lifeline. So, we declined. On day 25, my father broke his silence. He came to my office, the one they once called your little side gig, and asked to talk. I didn't get up. He stood in the doorway, hat in hand, pride barely clinging to his shoulders. "You've made your point," he said. "But you're about to ruin us. Are you proud of that?" I looked at him at the man who once told a room full of guests that my sister was the real success story, and I said calmly, "No, I'm not proud. I'm tired. Tired of funding your life while being written out of your legacy." He tried to speak. I raised a hand. "You all called me a beggar. So I stopped giving. And suddenly everyone remembered what I was worth." He didn't apologize. He didn't TCRY. He just left a folded check on my desk. Blank. Signed. I slid it back to him. "This was never about your money." I said it was about mine. When he left, I appended my inbox. A message from the court system. Trust disbursement fraud, preliminary hearing scheduled. The date was set. And this time, they'd have Ta show up, not to celebrate, but to swear. "You said the hearing date spread through the family like a cracked pipe, quiet at first, then flooding every group chat I was no longer in. They didn't think I'd really go through with it. They never do. They expect silence, they expect shame. They expect the one they pushed aside to keep the peace while they feast. But this time, it wasn't the help. I was the witness. Reed and I prepped everything. Timeline, account statements, screenshots off messages where I was asked to spot them just this once. All the invisible is made visible. The night before the hearing, my sister messaged me for the first time since the banquet. "If you got rough with this, I swear I'll never forgive you." No, sorry. No denial, just a warning. As if my peace required her permission. I didn't reply because some people don't want reconciliation. They want reinstatement of the version of you who stayed quiet. The courtroom was sterile. My parents sat across the aisle with stiff backs and a lawyer who kept checking his watch. The judge asked simple questions. Reed answered them with math. He projected charts onto a screen. Demonstrated how the condo payments came from my LLC. How the trust was siphoned for personal gain, vacations, spa days, cars, all under the guise of family needs. My parents' attorney objected, claimed informal arrangements. Said, "This is just a misunderstanding blown out off proportion." But the judge, she wasn't moved. She turned to me and asked, "What outcome are you seeking, Miss Hartley?" I stood, voice calm, truth on paper. That's all. Let the record match reality. She nodded, gave. And with that, my name was no longer just a footnote in their finances. It was the headline. And for once, the room went quiet without anyone needing to escort me out. "You said they didn't speak to me after the hearing." "No calls, no letters. No, we didn't mean it. Just silence. The kind that comes when a performance ends and the lights go out." The judgment wasn't criminal. It wasn't handcuffs or headlines, but it was binding. The court ordered restitution of misused funds, not to me, but back into the trust where it belonged. The condo's title was permanently transferred to my name, and me parents. They were removed from any future financial access to assets they hadn't earned. Reed called it elegant justice. I called it balance. Weeks passed. My phone stayed quiet, gloriously so. No requests, no emergencies, no guilt trip asks for just a little help this month. Then one envelope arrived. No stamp, no return address, just slid under my door. Inside a single photo, the family banquet. Everyone dressed in silver and navy, clinking glasses under crystal chandeliers. In the background, blurry but unmistakable captured midterm mid-leaving. The moment they erased me, memorialized by accident. On the back, someone had written, "This was the moment it all fell apart." I held it for a long time, then walked it to the shredder. Because what fell apart wasn't family. It was the illusion of it. The one they built with my money. My silence, my need to belong. And once that illusion burned, what was left behind wasn't ashes. It was freedom. I built a new folder that day. Hartley Foundation. A grant for first-generation women putting themselves through school without family help. The first funding came from a condo sale, mine.